I followed all the gardening advice and it just made everything worse. I was doing what everybody says to do, watching videos, reading tips, trying to do it all just right, watering in the way they said, using the kind of soil they recommend, setting things up how it should be done. And at first, it looked fine. Things were growing, everything seemed to be working, but then slowly things started dropping off. So in this video, I'm going to go over 3 of the things that actually worked quite well for me and how you can apply them to your scenario, to your setup, to your climate. My plants just started drying out. They weren't really taking off. They just started looking floppy and sad. The soil started looking average. Pests were coming in. Just wasn't pretty. I remember saying to Belle all the time, like, the fuck am I doing wrong? What's not adding up here? Because I thought I was doing everything right. And that's the part that I didn't get at the time. Most of the advice I was following wasn't wrong, it just wasn't right for here. I was trying to force a square peg into a round hole. So I stopped trying to get it right and I started trying to understand what was actually going on here. That's when things actually started to work. Trying to understand what's going on here in my situation rather than paying too much attention to what's going on in there, in them big wide webs. So the first thing, stop following somebody else's watering schedules. Don't just water because someone on TikTok told you to water. Check the soil. The soil is going to tell you what's going on with your plants, your situation. Actually put your hand in, have a dig around, feel where it's dry, and go further. Start to feel where it's actually wet, because the top of the soil is going to lie. It is going to look dry, but the water seeps down deep. You got to get more than just a knuckle deep, right? I'd fucking get my whole fist in there. I also made the mistake of trusting the weather reports. We had a week where it was supposed to rain all week. Every day from 9 a.m. it was going to rain. So I was like, sweet, I'm not going to water because rain's coming. So I didn't water that day. I didn't water the whole week and rain never turned up. And we lost 3 tomato plants because of that. So now I water when I need to, and if it rains, I adjust accordingly. This morning I woke up and it was raining, which doesn't happen often, but I know now that my plants have had a good watering. But tomorrow, boom, fingers back in there. I get up early because I have to in my climate, before the full sun comes out and just fucking drinks up all that water again. Second thing, stop assuming that more sun is necessarily better. Watch the plant, watch the leaves curling, watch them getting burnt. Right? That's going to tell you if you're giving it too much sun or not. Watch the soil again. If the soil is saying soaked, it's not getting enough sun. Those 2 things are going to tell you more than you ever need to know, right? Look at what the leaves are doing and look at what the soil's doing, and that's going to tell you whether your sun schedule is right as well. We're constantly experimenting. When we get fresh seedlings, we start to put them in a few spots around the yard now just to see how they do in different areas, and then that lets us know. We've got some big planter boxes, which admittedly I've put probably not in the best spot, but we now know the amount of sun they get and what sort of plants are going to thrive in that sun and what sort of plants need to be strategically moved a little bit. Yeah, sun, shade, wind, water, they're all doing different things, and you've got to kind of balance that out a lot. The third thing you want to do is change how you water, not just how often. Instead of a little bit every day, water deeper but less often. You want the roots to actually grow down, so you need the water to go down. Right now, some of my plants are still getting watered daily, but not all of them. Again, that comes down to the position of my planter boxes. The planter boxes at the moment, they need a lot of water, so they're getting watered daily. But some of the little ones around the yard, not so much. So yeah, right now a lot of mine are getting watered daily, but that's going to change soon. I can already feel the conditions changing. I can feel the days getting a little bit cooler, so the routine is going to change again. And that's the point. There's no fixed system to gardening. And look, none of this came from a video. None of this came from TikTok advice. This came from trial and error. Now, I've fucked up a lot of the plants in the garden, but I've learnt from that. Things didn't suddenly become perfect, but they started to make sense. Less guessing, less forcing, less trying to fit some ideal setup. Just working with what's actually there. And this isn't just about gardening. This is how most people live. just copying advice from somebody else, copy paste into your own life and trying to make it work. It doesn't work like that. We've all got different lifestyles. We've all got different schedules. We've got different needs, different desires. We need to take some of this advice we're seeing on board, see what works with us, and then be prepared to leave some shit behind. Copy paste doesn't work in the real world. It doesn't work with gardening. It doesn't work with fitness. It doesn't work with nutrition. It doesn't work with your fucking finances. You don't need more advice. You need to start noticing. This is Grow With Nothing.